Hello everyone and welcome to another Hello Caesar review. Today I'm reviewing Your Best Life. No, not your actual life. I'm reviewing this board game, this flip and write game called Your Best Life. This is published by WizKids Games. It is for 1 to 8 players, ages 10 and up. I think that age range is really good. I think you could probably squeeze by with an 8 or 9-year-old. The game is fairly simple, but there are a lot of different things going on, so that's kind of the only thing. But you may be thinking, oh, interesting, a flip and write game that is about life, right? And creating your best life. I think of growing up, and we had the board game of life, right? You drive a little car around and blue and pink pegs, and you have kids, and you be a doctor, or you be a mechanic, or whatever it is. And it kind of creates these fun stories, right? Like, that was the fun element of that game, and I think this is similar. It has that fun story element of it is what makes this a fun game, as well as checking off the boxes. With any roll and write or flip and write type game, you are checking the boxes, and there's a good kind of comboing going on, where if you get this section filled up, you get to mark off this box, which then you get another box, and so that sort of thing. So let's go ahead and show you the components of this game and talk about some of my thoughts with it. So first of all, the rules here. The rules are very, very good. We have the iconography here. It makes sense, and I think is very well done. There is a lot of pictures and examples of the different actions within the game. So it is and can be a bit much at first, and trying to remember everything. The first time we played, we kind of forgot about our personal goals, and that we were supposed to score them at the end of rounds 4, 7, and 10. There is a color difference on the track here to remind you to do that, but being our first game and everyone's trying to remember everything, we kind of had forgotten that, so we kind of worked back and figured something out. But yeah, overall, the rules are cool. This is interesting because you can play this basically as a single or a couple. So you can play in couples, which is pretty cool, and work together to try to score more points than everyone else. And then the singles basically play the single life, and they multiply their score by 2 and to compare that. So I think it works really well there. There's also a solo and co-op mode, which is basically you're able to play this by yourself and just try to get the highest score that you possibly can. So that being said, let's show you the components here. We have, again, this is for 1 to 8 players. Because you can play this, with as a single and stuff, there's actually 16 of these boards, because there's kind of a family board, whether you're playing as a family couple or as a single. The boards are slightly different there. And so we have those double-sided, and we also have your single-player boards and the corresponding cardboard tokens that go with that. For action selection there. So we have 10. These are dry erase, and they work great. I think they're good quality. And you also have 8 dry erase markers in the game that work great. There's 4 dice that are pretty cool. They have a translucent type look to them here. And with the different stress symbols on it. Life, right? Talking about life, you're going to have stress. Stress comes from the different cards, the different action cards. The game, basically, throughout the game, this isn't going to be a how-to play, but the basic game, each round, these 4 different cards are going to come up, and everyone's going to simultaneously choose which card they want to play. If people choose the same one, which they can, then these actually are going to get a bonus. If you choose one someone else does, you're going to get a like on your social media track. And But yeah, other than that, everyone's going to roll stress dice according to the stress symbols. There are cards that don't have stress. And managing stress is actually can be a big part of the game, right? So there's on the family boards here, if I can find one. The family boards here, you have the stress track, and if you're relaxed and you don't have this filled up with X's, you can have more happiness, right? As you're more and more stressed, you're going to get less and less happy, and you can also lose joy points or gain joy points if you go to remove an X and you don't have one to remove. You're going to get 8 joy. And similarly, if you need to mark an X in this track and it's already full, you're going to lose 5 joy each time. Basically just points. Joy, happiness equates to points from round to round. So you're trying to manage that. But yeah, other than that, we have a lot of cards here that I'm going to kind of show you. But there's also 8 of the cardboard tokens. And great quality everything. The other thing I would mention, there are cards here that are dry erase and some that are not. Basically, all the cards are not, other than they have children cards, so you can have children in this game, allowing you to have additional tracks to potentially get more bonuses. But it comes at a cost here. If you don't complete the track by the end of the game, you're going to lose 6 points. There's different children cards for couples and singles, because the couples have 2 action cards that they're fulfilling each round. They have more action points, if you will, to spend. The single children cards have less boxes generally to check off. There's also a story mode. Basically, all that is they have these invitation cards that you can, if you have a kid, you can draw a little invitation. It's a boy, it's a girl, whatever. And honestly, that's part of the fun of this game, is that the stories, right? So my son, he had a personal goal. So that's the other element, is that you have some setup, right? Some asymmetry here. Everyone has a background card, which gives them some starting stuff to mark off. Inventor, charismatic, home cook, spiritual. You're going to start on those tracks a little bit higher. Each of the players is going to get a personal goal. This is the one that I actually had, and so my goal was to have more X's in the business and career side of things. Then each couple is going to share a shared goal, and the singles also have a shared goal as well. But children are a blessing, so this one you want to have 3 children with all of their tracks completed. And then there's usually some negative element. So if you have for each uncompleted track, lose 20 points. That's very significant. So you're going to want to always fulfill these. I think my daughter had this one to be happy. So she was really focused on that. Me and my wife, our goal was lovebirds. So we wanted our romance tracks to be full. My son had see the world. And so that was pretty funny, because we had him going on vacations, spending money. You can spend money on your home, on your vehicle. Oh, he was spending it all on vacations. And it was just kind of this funny story, right? Where he was spending all his money on vacations. And later he asked, like, where's the business and career track? And it was like halfway through the game, and we just all started laughing because he didn't know where the business and career track was. It was like, he's the trust fund child, where he's just inherited tons of money. He's going on vacations all the time, but he's not doing anything work-wise. But it was so funny because he was just going through vacation after vacation, and you have to spend 2 money to go on vacation by yourself, or you can spend 1 money symbol and get another person to spend a money symbol, and you can both go on a vacation together, in which case you both choose 1 of the bonuses. If you go on a vacation by yourself, you get both of the bonuses and get 2 X's. If you just go with someone, you get 1x and one of the bonuses. But he was going on vacations left and right, completely filled up his track, right? And it was just so funny. And then my daughter was sitting there, like she was focused on happiness, but in order to do that, she didn't have very many, much money, and was feeling a little bit sad because her, little brother is going on vacation after vacation. So it just kind of brought up, talking about that, and how, yeah, sometimes it feels like there's people who go on vacations all the time. And it was just really funny. And here I was trying to put most of my stuff into business career, and halfway through I was like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing some romance. And so we had good chuckles about that. And it was just a really fun experience to play as a family, this game, Your Best Life, and really enjoyed it. And I think there's a lot of strategy and just good fulfillment of the boxes, right? So yes, you have these goals which give you direction, and so there's some strategy to what you choose and what you choose when. You fill up your stress check, and it's like, you know what, I can't afford to take this card, even though it'd be really, really good for me. It's got 2 wilds, and whatever it is, I need to take a card that's going to help me be more relaxed and hopefully get rid of some of the stress before I do anything else. So there's some management of the stress track throughout the game, which was really kind of interesting, because you start with stress, and so it's doing that. There's also this balance symbol, which if you get that up, you basically multiply. It's a multiplier of your lowest scoring kind of region. So it's encouraging you to have balance in your life, right? And so I don't know, I thought the game did everything really well, and I think we had a really fun time playing it. I think my wife did mention, it's like, that was really, really fun. I was like, I don't know if I need to play it again. I would definitely play it again. I think it's a really fun flip and right, and kind of that. I would like to explore the different things, right? Because I went on a few vacations. We did part of a vehicle, the one round, and I was doing a lot of business and career, and this, doing a lot of this track, where just kind of explore the different elements of the game, right? And we didn't do kids. I think it would be fun to try that challenge in this game as well. I think it was really well done, and a fun experience. And if you're looking for that story feeling, the board game of life that you grew up with, I think this is a nice fresh take that is, with the roll and rights and flip and right games, this is really dynamic. So you're not heavily based on luck. You get to choose. The different cards are going to come out, and you have options of what you're going to choose, and your shared goals and different things can kind of help steer that direction. But throughout the game, you may need to kind of change what you're doing, or maybe you don't have a ton of selection that you like. Well, you do the best with what you're given. So Your Best Life is a fun flip and right game that is great for families, great for a couple game night. I think would have a lot of fun with this game. So, and you can play just 2-player and have the singles. You can have the couple thing. I think that's a fun dynamic. I think it's just a really well done game. So that is how Lou sees it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and hopefully subscribe to the channel. And we hope to see you next time as well. But Your Best Life, really good time. That is how Lou sees it.